The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
Coming up on Bloom, why people are turning to bee therapy to alleviate pain.
It helps with a lot of things, inflammation in the body and tumors and cysts and things like that, personal experience.
And unusual symptoms men often ignore that could point to health issues.
Men have to have the attitude that coming forth with these types of symptoms it's a sign of strength.
Plus, we're munching and brunching in this week's Everything in Moderation. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. There's a way to detect the smallest irregularities in your body months or even years before a problem occurs. In fact, here in Tampa Bay, we're one of only 7 places in the country where you have the opportunity to focus on early detection by taking advantage of this preventative scan that can detect hundreds of different forms of cancer and heart disease in their earliest stages. Joining me now from Lifeguard Imaging is the man who knows the importance of being the best of the best, both on the football field and off. Vice President of Business Development, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and NFL great Martin Gramatica. It is so great to see you.
Good to see you, Gayle.
So congratulations. Once again, Lifeguard Imaging is the premier scanning facility in Tampa Bay and was voted best of the best in diagnostic imaging by the Tampa Bay Times in 2023. And here we are again, and we can vote.
Oh, we're so excited. First of all, to have won it last year, but now to have been nominated again and have a chance to do it again. You know, as an athlete, you always want to, and they always say, you know, it's hard to get to the top, but it's harder to stay on top. And that's kind of what our message is, and our mission is at Lifeguard is to make sure that we're the best concierge imaging, because that's what we do. We want to make sure that our patients, when they come to the door, have an incredible experience, and that's our goal. So that hopefully it shows this year again. Yeah,
that's why we are so excited to showcase you on Bloom all of the time, because there are other people getting into this business, but it's really important to stay with the best of the best. I mean, people are voting on you, and so how can we participate?
Well, there's going to be a QR code, so they can do that. It's real simple nowadays with QR codes, so if they can do that and just vote for us, and if you haven't come in, experience it, and then vote after you leave the office.
Yeah, I like that. What does it mean to you? Because the team over at LGI, you guys are like family. You're like family to us as well. What does it mean to you guys to have this tremendous accolade?
Well, it's an honor because it's the community voting. It's not, not us saying, hey, we're number one. No, it's the community that voted us last year, and hopefully we get it again this year, because, again, when patients come in, we want to make sure from the second they step foot in our doors till the second they leave, they have a great experience, because everybody's going to have a little bit of anxiety, because I would say 99.9% of our patients have not had a full body scan prior to our preventative scan. So they're going to have a little bit of anxiety. So we want to make sure that we ease their mind, we get them comfortable, and obviously make sure they have a great experience when they come to our office. And
it's important to LGI and the entire team there to be embedded in the community. That's really all part of it for you.
100%, Gayle. I mean, I've been here since '99. I grew up in Florida, so Tampa's home. I'm not going anywhere. I love Tampa, and everybody at Lifeguard Imaging, this is our home, and this is going to be our corporate office. No matter where we open offices, this is going to be our home, and we want to make sure and let people know that, we're one of 7 offices in the whole country doing preventative scans the way we do them. So it's in our backyard. It's silly not to take advantage of that. I always say I have friends from Argentina coming in to Lifeguard because they don't have this technology in South America, and they don't have it all over the United States. So it's silly not to take advantage of it when it's in our own backyard.
Yeah, we were looking at video of the Power of the Scan party that you had, the 2nd annual party, and it doubled in size. And it's so amazing to meet the real people whose lives are saved because of this scan. I mean, people that had no idea that they were dealing with cancer or major heart problems until they got this preventative scan.
You're right, Gayle, and we want our patients to come in when they're feeling well, because if we detect something, it's going to be prior to that first symptom, because first symptom of heart disease is usually a heart attack, and then with cancer, it's late stage. So when our patients come in feeling well, we're going to capture it hopefully before they have that major, especially with cancer. You want to catch it before it's that late stage diagnosis. So with our legacy program, that's how we're having unmatched success of capturing things early, because if it's not in scan 1, which baseline scan is that first initial scan a patient gets. If something were developed right after that scan, we were capturing the follow-up scan. And those become the most important scans because that's when we're going to catch it early.
Absolutely. So, you know, definitely you want to go in for the free heart scan, no strings attached, and then you can learn more about the legacy programs.
Yes, they're going to meet with a patient advocate that if they choose to do the heart scan, they're not paying a penny. Those patients are just getting a heart scan. We're going to give you a calcium score. But for the patients that want to do the full body scans, they're going to meet with a patient advocate that's going to explain what we scan for and what the program is.
All right, thanks, Martine. Call today, right now, 813-582-5222, or visit lifeguardimaging.com. You'll receive a Bloom special offer, a free heart scan, when you mention Gayle or Bloom. That's a $599 value. So call today, 813-582-5222 for this special offer. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back. We're exploring alternative treatments to relieve ailments and other health conditions. Joining me now is the founder of Restored Identity, board-certified functional health practitioner, Amy Miller. Amy, welcome to Bloom.
Thank you for having me.
So we say alternative treatments, but in reality, we're going back to nature, back to the basics, back to how our body would heal before all these medications and medical interventions.
Right, correct, yep.
So what would you say are some of the common ailments and conditions that we could lean on nature for?
Headaches, pain, hormone balance, weight gain. There's so many. There isn't a thing I haven't found that I haven't been able to correct using nature.
Now, you actually jumped on social media. Tell me a little bit about your social media handle and how and why it blew up like it did.
Well, my daughter came to me one day, she was 11, she was like, Mom, you need to create a TikTok and tell everybody everything you know. And I was like, no, not gonna happen. So I did, I ended up doing it, made one video, and I'm very faith-based, so I just wanted to make the channel all about, you know, our taglines back to the basics. So I just put Amy and Elohim. Elohim's another name for God, and yeah, everybody just started calling me Amy Elohim. So from there, here we are.
It does have a ring to it.
Yeah, it does.
So did you go to the Bible to find ways to heal?
I did. You know, I've been studying the Bible for 27 years, and when COVID and stuff went down, and I just found myself in a place where I was just kind of sounded a little familiar in the timeline that we were in, so I was just looking, and as I was looking, I started reading things like hyssop and wormwood, and I'm like, wait a second. You know, they were using this back then too. So then I just went down this, you know, rabbit hole, so to say, of herbs in the Bible, and I just started creating blends to help restore my body. And that's how we turned into what we have today. And
you teach people actually how to make these home remedies.
Yes, yep.
So talk to me about, I mean, you even say, am I dreaming, or did I even see one for like ADHD?
Nope, we have one for ADHD. There's actually two simple herbs, St. John's wort and valerian root. When you put those two together, equal parts, it just makes this amazing relaxation, and it's one of those, the longer you use it, the better it works too. But it also works immediately, and it works great for children with ADHD. Even ages 6 and up can use it.
Really?
Yeah.
What are some other remedies that you share out there?
So I teach how to make an herbal antibiotic. I've taught how to make...
Which is really good, because, you know, a lot of people are antibiotic resistance because
Correct.
It's overprescribed, and their body can't even fight off like superbugs.
Correct, yeah. We even teach how to make immune boosting extracts, elderberry syrup, all of that. I'm not a gatekeeper, so to speak. I think it's wisdom that everybody should know, because, you know, you never know when that might not be available. Western medicine, you know, you might not be able to get to it. So why not use the very things in your backyard to help bring restoration to your body?
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of people feel lost, or maybe they're just not getting the results if they're going through a traditional. Now, I mean, our whole show is about talking to credible doctors and healthcare providers. and people who dedicate their life and their careers to helping people heal. So,
Yes.
you know, for sure there's a place in this world, but there are people out there that have just worked tirelessly to feel better, and they have gone from one doctor to the next, to the next, to the next, with no real answers.
Yeah.
And you believe that sometimes it's just about pressing the brakes and going back to nature and trying to heal, get rid of the toxins in your body.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, sometimes we have people on medication for 10, 15 years for hormones and stuff when all they had to take was some herbs for like a couple months and they could have just, boop, balanced them back out. But in taking that medication, it brings on other things, diabetes, you know, liver complications. So there's a lot of simple things that we can do. I am not against Western medicine. I think there is a place and a time, and I think over the next 20 years we're going to be working hand in hand together. You know, because as people, it's like, okay, I've been on diabetes medication for 20 years, my diabetes isn't getting better.
Right.
But when they come over to our side within 1 to 2 years, it's like, wow, their liver's restoring, it's refunctioning, it's just getting better.
Yeah.
So
I think you're right. I think more and more doctors are opening up their minds and really realizing that there are many ways to heal. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on
you're
Bloom.
so welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're going to share Amy's story on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. There's a lot of buzz around using bee venom, known scientifically as apitoxin, for its reported healing properties. A bee's venom is linked to boosting your immune system, helping symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, and reducing inflammation. While research is ongoing, there is promising evidence that bee venom may offer several health benefits. I caught up with the owner of Tampa Bees, beekeeper Stephanie Ramtham, to find out if people in Tampa Bay are trying this out. So talk to me about bee therapy. I didn't even know that was a thing.
So that is something that someone approached me with. I didn't really know much about that either. I knew that beekeepers are healthier because they get stung often and it helps with their arthritis. I knew about that, but I didn't know all the other aspects of bee venom and how helpful it is for us. So, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't make any claims for health, but I do know personal wise, like it helps with a lot of things, inflammation in the body and tumors and cysts and things like that. Personal experience watching those things disappear. Supposedly really breaks down scar tissue and yeah, different things like that.
Now, does it hurt, or do you take precautions? Do you use ice first?
So we do put ice and get the skin numb, and then we sting, and it's less painful. You will still feel a little pain. It's no worse than getting a tattoo is what I tell people. I know most people haven't had one, but if you can imagine, you know, getting a tattoo, it's kind of like that.
Experts say while bee therapy has been around for thousands of years, it's gaining more attention as a popular alternative treatment in today's world. But doctors say some people do experience irritation, and if you're allergic to bees, you could have life-threatening allergic responses. We're going to share this story with you on BloomTampaBay.com. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. True or false? Science shows honey from bees can help with neurological diseases like depression. We'll have the answer later on Bloom. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. Welcome back. It's time for everything in moderation, because some experts believe when we deprive ourselves of our favorite unhealthy foods, we may desire them even more. So here with a taste of cinnamon flapjacks and a free spirit cocktail is the executive chef at Brass Tap, Chef Vanessa Marquis. It's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So this is a great idea. Talk me through it.
Right, and by the way, the smell is awesome, right?
Yes.
Right now we've got a lot of great smells, free smells. So technically what we have here at our brunch menu, we have an awesome cinnamon flapjack, which is that time when you really want to cheat. You worked hard all week and you want to go to brunch on the weekend and you want to cheat a bit. This is the way to go.
Okay.
But you can do it at home, so I'm going to show you how.
All right.
So simply what we did is I've got a griddle that I literally brought from home, but we're going to start by putting on we're going to put a little spray on here first.
Okay.
I have 2 cinnamon rolls, and these cinnamon rolls are literally from your grocery store. You can put that here. Let me get that steak weight sprayed one more time. I'm putting a steak weight on top of that. And we're going to shove them down. We're going to put some pressure on them. Yeah, till they're flat. Don't be afraid. There we go. And then once they're there, we're going to leave the steak weight right on top of it.
Okay.
Now, if you don't have a steak weight, a simple little thing that you can do is a saute pan or a pot. Just put a little plastic wrap on top of it, and then you can smush them down.
I love it.
That's the way you can do it at home. But as those are going, we're going to go ahead and also start on our glaze.
Okay.
Our glaze right here, I'm using today so we can cut back on the decadent dish we're about to have, is I'm using a substitute confectioner's sugar. So if you want to mix together the sugar with a little bit, I'm using almond milk, vanilla almond milk, so the calories are less than regular milk. And then we're just going to give that a stir until it's combined and it makes a nice little glaze. And then we'll set that aside.
Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm going to start on the mocktail.
All right.
So Don't Mock the Dragon today is our mocktail. And it's really simple, really easy. This can be such a great idea to use while you have your girlfriends over, or if you wanted to do something for your teenagers. We're just going to fill this up with ice. I'm going to set this aside. And then simply, I'm using dragon fruit. So if you also wanted to buy dragon fruit syrup, look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Where do you find dragon fruit?
Dragon fruit, you can probably just grab it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to put a little bit of pineapple juice, right? And then we're going to squeeze some lime juice. This is really refreshing, really tasty, super bubbly, and just a lot of fun. And then also we're just going to end it off with a little bit of club soda.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, and we're just going to give it a stir, and that'll all come together, and it's absolutely delicious. And then that's ready to go for us while we get the rest going, and it'll be ready.
Okay.
All right. So now, why don't we go ahead and put the bacon on? Because who doesn't want bacon with that sweet and that salty? Goes really well together. So as that sits, we're going to just about plate everything up.
Okay.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and garnish a little bit of cute strawberries. And what I do is I try to keep it all together by just giving it a little bit of a
slice?
fan and a
Oh,
slice.
that's
so
so
that
neat.
will go there with you on the plate.
Okay.
Okay. So we already started those going because these are going to take approximately 6 minutes. As you can see, we have 2 done already.
Yeah.
Now the syrup, you can use several things. You can use honey because you had a great conversation earlier about bees and honey. And actually, it's really great to think about if you have allergies, you want to have a little bit of local honey a day.
Yes.
My father takes a tablespoon a day, but I told him, you know what? Why don't you put a little honey instead of syrup on
That's
your
a
pancakes?
really good idea. Because I'm
Absolutely.
always looking for a way to work honey.
Right.
And I actually bought honey from the lady of Tampa Bees,
Oh, okay,
trying to buy it
perfect.
local so it even has more health benefits.
Absolutely. So if you want to use honey or pure agave, that's a great option too.
Okay.
And it's endless. Also too, so what we did is we're going to have berries on this. So that bacon is looking good. Let's go ahead and start. We're going to just overlap these because it looks a little prettier
Okay.
that way.
All right.
All right. So now we're going to put some glaze on, and I'm just going to use this here.
And for all we did was the confection sugar and the almond milk on that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's we're cheating a bit, but at the same
That's
time,
okay.
where can we cut back on some of those calories?
Yes.
All right, so that bacon's looking pretty good.
So do you want me
and
to place it
crispy.
on there?
Yeah, let's go ahead and just kind of lay it all across the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That looks
Bacon.
really, really good.
Yes. And then we're going to just add in some berries on top of this. You can go ahead and put it all
Okay.
there. Yeah.
I don't want to waste any of this bacon.
Yeah, look at that already. It's looking awesome.
That is great. And then how much per side on this? Do you think it's time for a flip?
Yeah, so this you're just going to gently kind of push those off. They kind of want to tend to stick, but you got it. There you go. That's all right. And
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, perfect. And then you just separate them a bit with your spatula.
Okay.
And we're going to flip them over one by one. You're pretty good at this.
I'm trying. Oh, wow.
Look how
okay,
beautiful.
there. Oh, yeah,
see?
that is so pretty.
They're gorgeous.
I know I
and
should be
then
using
we
this
just put the
knife.
steak weight right back on top of those again, because if not, they're going to keep rising, right? They're
And
gonna
you
have a
don't
big
want
cinnamon
that.
roll.
Okay, yes.
So there you go. We're going to set those down. Perfect.
Okay.
This is almost done. So syrup, again, we're just going to smother this in syrup. Look how gorgeous that is.
So good.
Yes. Wonderful. Okay, and then we're going to have this here.
And there you have it.
Yes.
This is the best brunch ever.
Yeah, so other things too we can do with this is if you wouldn't want this for breakfast, you could do a dessert out of this. So you don't have to do that, but you could put ice cream on top of those instead of a regular big old cinnamon roll, because this will be at least a little quicker than putting them in the oven. And then you, of course, you could put, if you really wanted to go fancy with it, adults, you can really make like a bourbon maple sauce or a bourbon butter sauce, and then of course ice cream and caramel sauce. So there's absolutely so many different ways to do that. And with this in mind, I mean, gosh, what about a sticky bun? So you can put like candied pecans on top.
This keeps getting better, and it tastes so good. You guys have to try this. We're going to share the recipe on bloomtampabay.com, but you can also watch us put all this together. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Chef.
you're very welcome. And don't forget to try Don't Mock the Dragon.
All right, we'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Tampa Bay Total Wellness.
Foggy brain, anxiety, depression. You may even feel like you're losing your mind with the onset of menopause, but you don't have to suffer. Joining me now is age management specialist Tammy Oberbreckling with Tampa Bay Total Wellness. It's so good to see you.
You too, Gail. Thank you.
Talk to me about what goes on with our hormones, especially as we start to enter the perimenopausal and menopausal stages of life, which can start very early.
Most of us just think we're losing our mind. It starts with anxiety that's out of nowhere, depression, we don't recognize ourselves, we'll go to the doctor and they want to give us an anti-anxiety medicine, but really it's a depletion in your hormones.
And it's so important to bring these hormones back in balance for a woman's health.
It is, and it's not just menopause. We have many hormones and they begin depleting in our 20s and 30s, and sometimes, not recognizing that, we go down a path of suffering.
So what do you do with your patients when you meet with them to help figure out the best treatment protocol?
First of all, we listen to them, try to figure out what's missing. Sometimes it's hard to talk about these things. Then we'll do complete blood work and look for deficiencies.
Now, I would say, having gone through this myself with you, and you do work with each patient individually and craft something that they feel comfortable with, which I think is very important. But it's unbelievable to me on a personal level, the transformation that you go through when you get these hormones in balance.
Exactly, and it's rewarding for us too. I mean, we'll have women who can hardly come into the office, their anxiety is so great, and then once their hormones are balanced, they're freely coming in, they're smiling, they're happy, their life's back and completely restored.
And it really helps you to, on a medical level, I mean, there's so many studies to prove that having your hormones balanced is way better than the alternative of just letting them deplete.
Because our hormones are messengers in the body, so we need them. So all the body systems work better when the hormones are working. And the idea that we just live without them, the whole body will start to kind of unwind and misfire.
And I know that you work with men and women alike, and I've heard firsthand the stories of how people's sex lives go, they're like, it goes through the roof because they've gotten their hormones balanced.
And the grumpiness goes away, men suffer from hormonal depletion as well as women. We jokingly call it menopause, but once everything's in balance, your whole relationship is restored.
Yeah, and so all someone has to do is come in, meet with you, you do some blood work, and then from there you can determine what they need.
Yes, so we'll go through each one of the labs, describe what they do, and the people will start to heal themselves in that. They'll be like, oh, she's describing me, or he, and then we will make those corrections. Takes the body sometimes maybe up to even 6 months to fully correct, but once we get them there, they just live out the rest of their life feeling great.
Now, if it's not for perimenopausal symptoms or menopause symptoms, you said it can even start the imbalances early. What kind of situations do you address with younger women and men?
So both men and women need testosterone. Testosterone is what keeps our body young, keeps it healing itself, recovery. It's both of our libidos. And that'll start depleting in the 20s and 30s. And that's usually what people will assume is perimenopause, is really just that testosterone depletion.
So you might start with something like testosterone, then progesterone, estrogen as needed, but that's the whole thing about you tailoring it to each individual's need.
And looking at thyroid, vitamin D is a hormone, insulin's a hormone, so there are many hormones that could be out of balance leading to your symptoms.
All right, Tammy, it's such a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome.
If you're suffering and you don't feel like yourself, call Tampa Bay Total Wellness now to check your hormones at 813-609-4150 or 1-888-8-AGE-WELL. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Tampa Bay Total Wellness.
You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. We're back with Weird Health Science. Joining me now with odd facts you probably never knew about your body is the Happy Healthy Human coach, Michelle Cuff. It is so great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So we are starting off with our muscles and our bones and an interesting fact.
Yeah, so with muscles, I found that just to take one step, you wouldn't believe this, but it takes 200 muscles just to take a step.
Really?
Yeah, so which is interesting about that is that's why they say when you sprint, it's a complete body workout, because to walk takes 200 muscles, but imagine a sprint, how hard you're working them. So it's just interesting to know that, you know, all these leg muscles, core muscles, even your shoulders, your arms, everything's incorporated in walking. So walking is a whole body workout. It's great for you.
You know, you always hear the advice from medical advisors to walk. I mean, just even a short walk. It doesn't have to be really intense.
Right.
But that's going to be so beneficial to your health. And now that I know why.
Yeah.
All right. Let's
and then, well, the bones, let me tell you the bones.
Okay, the bones.
We've got 206 bones. 106 of them are in our hands and feet. So over half, so they're small, but we've got 27 in our hands and 26 in each foot. I just didn't know if anybody knew that.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about germs.
Okay, so.
I like this one because I'm a germphobe.
So here's something maybe someone doesn't know. It would be better for me to kiss you on the mouth or the cheek, but I won't do that.
Okay, that would be a little awkward. This is a PG show.
Or as opposed to shaking your hand.
Oh.
So we get more germs by shaking someone's hand, and that is because people are obviously touching things. They're not washing their hands, and apparently your thumbs are the dirtiest because we're not getting our thumbs in that hand washing. So, you know, and I think they're talking about a peck on the lips, not making out.
Yeah, I hear you.
That and a kiss on the cheek is less germy.
Okay.
And so the top 3 germiest things you want to touch, just so everybody knows, airport bins. So when you're putting your stuff through security, those bins apparently loaded with germs.
Ugh.
Number 2, restaurant tables, because I think they use the same towels. And maybe like not the nice ones. We're going to hope that, okay? And then grocery stores, the handles in the frozen section.
What?
But think about it. We really don't grab anything in the grocery store except the one thing we need, except for the frozen section. So everybody's opening those with their hands. They're full of germs.
That is good to know. All right. This is another interesting factoid. Humans are the only animals on the planet with a chin.
Yes. So I thought that was strange because I always thought my dog and my cat had chins.
They don't?
It's called a melade, what they have, but it's not a chin.
Okay.
Not even a monkey. Monkeys don't. We're the only ones that have a chin. I can't believe that. That's odd to me as well.
All right.
I mean, you really need to know that fact.
Yeah. Now I can go on with the rest of my life. All right. Your body sheds 30,000 dead skin cells.
A minute.
A minute?
Gayle.
Really? I got to do that dry brushing.
So for my 5 or 6 minute segment, 150 dead skin cells are going off my body. But even though
you better sweep those up.
Yeah, we better clean these chairs. But the good news is that the reason that's good is because our skin is constantly turning over. We're getting new rejuvenated skin, and it helps fight infection. I didn't know that. So that's the reason for that. Now, who counted these cells? I don't know.
That's a job in itself.
Yeah.
All right, you say the average person spends at least an entire year on the toilet.
Yes, and I just don't know why, but I think we need to discuss this.
Yeah, let's do.
Yes, I mean, the toilet. So I would say women, so it's an average. I would say women probably we spend more time, right? Because we have to sit down every time.
That's true.
Whereas men don't. But I think men hide out in the bathroom a lot.
You think so?
Don't you?
Maybe.
What are they doing in there?
I don't know.
So
don't bring your cell phone, because then it takes us full loop back to the germs.
Yes, and so one whole year we spend on the toilet. I actually thought maybe it'd be more than that. But
yeah,
that's a fact that I think we all should know.
Maybe if you're constipated, it's double the time.
Yeah, and actually, this is true. When you sit on the toilet for long periods of time with your phone, you will get hemorrhoids.
Oh.
It's not good for you.
No.
So don't sit there and hide.
With your phone, which is gross to begin with. All right, Michelle, these were amazing facts.
I mean,
if you just want to read and reread these
yes,
facts, share them with your friends. You're going to put everything you need to know on bloomtampabay.com. And when we return, we'll share unusual symptoms men often ignore that could point to underlying health issues. Bloom will be right back. We are back, and it's no secret. Most guys do not like going to the doctor. And since June is Men's Health Month, here sharing unusual symptoms and health issues men are most likely to ignore is registered nurse and nurse educator Dr. Jeff Tabor of the Arizona College of Nursing. It is such a pleasure to have you on, Bloom.
Likewise, it's a pleasure to meet you as well, Gayle.
So talk to me about how men do put their health on the back burner, and why do you think that is?
Yeah, first off, happy Men's Health Month and happy Father's Day coming. And one of the reasons I believe they put their health on the back burner is they're so concerned about everyone else in the family, their loved ones. And also sometimes there can be a little bit of embarrassment, especially when it comes to mental health issues. And so one of the aspects that we need to really focus on is to encourage men to know that admitting, for example, a mental health issue is really a strength. It's not a weakness, so that they can go in and get the help that they need by their healthcare provider.
Yeah, so important to think about. And you also shared some less commonly known symptoms that could point to underlying health issues that men sometimes ignore. And we have a list here so that our viewers can kind of, hear and watch along.
Yes, one of the things I mentioned is breast enlargement or tenderness. And this could be related to a condition called gynecomastia, which could be hormonal related. Sometimes it could be related to medications, but also there are times to where it could be indicative of even breast cancer. And a lot of people don't really associate breast cancer in men, but it does happen at a much lower incidence than women, but it's something to maybe be concerned about and contact your primary care provider, your healthcare provider, if you're having any issues with breast enlargement or tenderness. Because one of the things that always rings true is that it's better to have early intervention and early detection. Just like with women, as it relates to breast cancer, it's the same for men.
All right, let's talk about frequent urination.
Yes, frequent urination can be an issue that can be indicative of several different problems. One thing that frequent urination can demonstrate is urinary tract infection. Another thing is that it could indicate BPH, or what's known as benign prostatic hyperplasia or enlargement of the prostate. And so that also could be an indication of prostate cancer. So again, just like with breast cancer, it's very important that you would have early detection and treatment in order to have better outcomes. Also, there's other things that can cause frequent urination, such as, especially nocturia, urinating at night. Things like diabetes can also cause it. So there's multiple different disease processes that can cause frequent urination. So it's important that you would be screened by your healthcare provider if you're having those symptoms.
Okay, we got about 2 minutes, so let's go through this. You say new skin growths is an important thing to look out for.
Yes, if you're having new skin growths such as, let's say, new moles, new warts, any type of new skin lesions, it's important to do self-inspection. And it's important that you do self-inspection to notice those, especially if there's any changes, because it could even be an indication of something serious like melanoma. And so again, early detection, screening with early detection and early intervention is always beneficial in those cases where you want to prevent any kind of process early in the process versus waiting too late.
What about pain in the big toe?
That is a good one. Pain in the great toe is often associated with gout. Gout is a buildup of uric acid, and so sometimes men automatically believe that the pain in their toe is related to either aging or maybe an injury. Sometimes it's related to gout and uric acid, and just know if you do have gout, it increases your risk also of kidney stones. So there are some recommendations that your healthcare provider may make, including dietary changes, lifestyle modifications that can help with this, and there's also medications that can be prescribed that will decrease the incidence of flare-ups of gout.
Okay, we have less than a minute, but I do want to point out the mood swings because this kind of goes full circle to men not really keeping tabs on their mental health.
Exactly, and mood swings can be part of hormonal changes in men, and it could be signs of anxiety, depression, and these can be treatable and they can be manageable. But as we mentioned at the very beginning, men have to have the attitude that coming forth with these types of symptoms it's a sign of strength and not weakness.
All right.
And be able to ask for help.
I think these are great things to keep an eye out for, and I certainly appreciate you sharing them with our Bloom viewers.
Thank you so much, Gayle.
You're welcome. We're going to share Dr. Tabor's advice on BloomTampaBay.com. And up next, find out about weird signs and symptoms that could point to a lack of proper nutrients in your diet. We'll be right back. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Welcome back. Odd symptoms like a slight twitching of your eye or cracks on your tongue are signs from your body that something could be off balance. Joining me now sharing weird signs and symptoms of nutrient deficiencies is chiropractic physician Dr. Kathleen Geringer. It's so good to see you.
It's great to see you, Gayle.
So this one I am guilty of. I love chewing on ice. What does that mean?
Really?
Yes, I know
Oh
it's terrible for my
gosh.
teeth.
That means iron deficiency. It's a sign of anemia.
Really?
Yes, low iron.
Okay, the next one is blue fingertips, which sometimes happens.
Yes, and that's an autoimmune disease. It's called Raynaud's phenomenon. What that means is that when the immune system is not up to par, an autoimmune disease is likely to happen.
Okay, the next one that is very interesting to me is frequent eye twitching. Is it the really slight one where like other people can't see it, but you can feel it?
Yes, it's the
so
constant
annoying.
twitching.
Yeah.
Very annoying. It's adrenal stress, or when your body's under stress, and it can be a deficiency of vitamin B12.
Okay, this next one I've never experienced, but cracks on the tongue.
Yes, like if you stick your tongue out and you have these cracks, it's called geographic tongue. What that means is that you're full of vitamin deficiency, especially B12 and B6, and also deficiencies in minerals.
What about frequent nosebleeds?
Frequent nosebleed can be a signs and symptoms of either hypertension, high blood pressure, or vitamin K deficiency. Vitamin K is needed for your blood to be a little bit thicker for our natural blood clotting, so it'll stop the blood from bleeding.
Okay, and some people experience like bumps on the back of their arms. What's that?
That is signs and symptoms of low essential fatty acid, which is fish oil.
Really?
Yes.
That's unbelievable. So you actually have some solutions to some of these problems. Talk me through what you've got here.
Yes. So deficiency, your body is giving you these weird signs and symptoms, and these weird signs and symptoms can indicate a deficiency in the body. For example, we always hear about B12. Your body does not make B12. You can only get it through food or supplementation. So kale has a very high amount of B12. Also, I always talk about seaweed, and seaweed has not only high amounts of iodine, but it also has B12 in there and magnesium.
And you know, soak it in some water and even do like seaweed salads.
Yes, or Asian cucumber salad. So sometimes I throw seaweed in there because it helps to support our thyroid function, and our thyroid also needs B12 to function.
Okay. What about the organic hemp hearts?
Oh my gosh, that is full of not only fiber, but it also has magnesium, and magnesium really helps the eye from stop twitching because it's also a deficiency. Because magnesium is more of a calming type of a supplement.
And the nuts here?
Yes,
yeah.
These are Brazilian nuts. Brazilian nuts, only 2 Brazilian nuts that you can eat per day supports your thyroid function. It actually is rich in nutrients such as selenium. It's minerals that our body needs.
So a lot of times what our bodies are craving and deficient in, we can turn to nature for the answer.
Absolutely, and it starts out with a micro deficiency that becomes that symptoms, those weird signs and symptoms.
This is really interesting. I had not heard a lot of these. I mean, I've experienced in the past maybe some bumps on the back of my arm or the
Yes.
twitching of the eye,
Yes.
or little things like that. Interesting to know that it's our body's way of telling us that something's wrong. Thank you so much, Dr. Kathleen.
Thank you so much for having me here.
All right, we're going to share these tips on BloomTampaBay.com. We'll be back with more right after this. It's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. True or false? Science shows honey from bees can help with neurological diseases like depression. The answer is true. According to the Mayo Clinic, studies suggest that honey might offer antidepressant, anti-convalescent, and anti-anxiety benefits. In some studies, honey has been shown to help prevent memory disorders. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. Meet Eric Rittmeyer, who is known as the menopausal Marine, educating women about this stage of life. And double certified nutritionist Martha Van Camp has ways to avoid weight gain during menopause. Plus, we're reviving the lost art of bread baking. We'll share a simple recipe for a healthy slice of bread. Stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by Tampa Bay Total Wellness.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.